This is a Toshiba satellite from, I believe, 2013. Originally shipped with Windows 8 on it, and it had been upgraded to Windows 8.1. And just recently, as you can see, well, maybe you can't see very well, but it is running Windows 10 now. And it works pretty well. The only issue is it has a pretty slow boot up time. Programs take forever to open after it's been booted up, and that seems to be a common thing with mechanical hard drives in Windows 10. On solid state drives, it's very fast to boot up. So what we're going to be doing today is installing a 256 gigabyte Samsung SSD. This thing right now has a 500 gigabyte 5400 RPM drive in it, which is extremely slow. It's got a Celeron processor and 4 gigabytes of RAM. And like I said, it doesn't have any problem, running Windows 10. It's just after it boots up, it takes forever to do things. So let me open the info page. And it has a Celeron N2840, 2.16 gigahertz, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64-bit Windows 10. So, yeah, and I'm also going to be replacing the battery. I ordered that as well. It's not going to be here today, so I'll have to record that at a later date. But right now I'm just going to be replacing the hard drive with an external hard drive, or not with an external hard drive, with a solid state drive. As you can see, I have my 2.5-inch hard drive enclosure, so I can clone the drive on this computer so I don't have to reinstall the operating system from scratch. I've done this on another computer of mine, on my Sony Vaio, and I figured that 256 gigabytes would be enough for this computer because I really just use this for video calls and browsing the internet and stuff like that. So yeah, let me show you what this computer can do. It has a touch screen. It can be completely flipped around like this. So now it's a tablet, and it's in pretty decent shape, I guess, for its age. I had to, there was an issue with the trackpad coming up in that one corner right there, so I super glued it down a while ago, and it's been perfect ever since. So, and again, it's gonna need a new battery because it's pretty old. The battery in there is pretty old. So, okay, here is the drive. It is a 250 gigabyte Samsung Evo 860. I already put one of these drives, a 1 terabyte version, in another computer that I have. And here it is out of the box, very thin. And yeah, I'm going to put this in the hard drive enclosure, and I'm going to use Samsung's data migration software to clone the drive that's on the computer right now. Alright, I'm about to start the cloning procedure. All I did was typed into Google Samsung data migration software, and went onto their website and downloaded it, and I'm about to press start right now. One thing to note is that when I plugged this SSD into the computer, it did not show up in the drives, so don't worry about that if it doesn't show up. The Samsung data migration software will recognize it anyway. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do here is shut it down and then unplug it. Go ahead and unplug it right now, actually, because even though the battery is pretty worn out, it still has enough for a little while. So, wait for it to shut down. I guess I could show you some of the ports that we got. We got HDMI out, USB 3.0, SD card slot. There's the power button and the input jack, power input jack. And over here, I have a volume switch, headphone jack, USB 2.0, and the Kensington lock. Alright, it's shut down, unplugged. Let's take a look at the bottom here. Let me make sure there's nothing on here that I want to cover up. No, I don't think so. Anyway, all you have to do basically to get into this thing is remove these screws. You're going to need a micro screwdriver set for that because they're pretty small. And then take like a spudger or something like that and just pry this open at that point. Yeah, really not too much to it. Alright, all 10 screws are removed, and they were pretty easy to get out. The first time I removed them, they were kind of hard to get to turn because they had Loctite on them, but since I've had them off before, it wasn't that bad. So now, go ahead and pry this off. You don't have to use, a spudger if you don't have one. I do. It's one of these. You can also use your fingernails, but I will be using the spudger. Just so you know where to start, the groove is right there where I have the spudger in right now. And there we go. Cover is removed. Set that aside. And there's our hard drive. It's just a standard 2.5 inch 5400 RPM drive, which is getting replaced with a nice solid state drive. Here's the battery. Honestly, the main reason that I'm replacing this battery is because it's starting to bulge on this side. If it wasn't doing that, I'd probably just say screw it and not worry about it. But it's a safety hazard now, so I have to replace it. Here's the old hard drive taken out. It was pretty easy. It just has this rubber sleeve thing around it, and it's just friction fit. Just pull on this part and it comes out. No problem. So I'm going to take this rubber piece off. I'm going to put it on the solid state drive. The solid state drive is in. It's all put back together. Okay, so here's the conclusion. The Celeron processor is really kind of the bottleneck on this computer as far as performance is concerned. It definitely does do things faster with the solid state drive. For one thing, when you restart the computer, it's a lot faster to load things. Restarting it on the hard drive was just painfully slow. Regular boot up, like if you just shut it down and then start it up again with Windows 10 fast boot enabled, it's honestly pretty similar on the hard drive and the solid state drive. So there's not much of it, not a huge difference there. Of course, it can open programs faster when you first log in. It doesn't take forever to get started. But I mean, once it was started up on the hard drive, it would be just fine. It wasn't, everything would open just fine. Things maybe open a little bit faster with the SSD. I'm going to take this SSD out. I'm actually going to show you exactly how fast it is on the hard drive compared to the SSD. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down and do just a regular boot up real quick, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so we're all shut down now. Let's go ahead and do a regular boot up test. This is still with the solid state drive. It seems to hang at this screen the longest. I don't think that's any fault of the drive, though. As you can see, it's not too bad. Already at the login screen. And now we're logging in, and there we go. Let's try and open something simple like File Explorer. I just clicked on it. Normally that would have taken longer on the hard drive for that to open. Now we will open Google Chrome. Just clicked on it. Computer is still loading. Hasn't really stabilized just yet. But there you go. Let's do a restart time test with the SSD, and then we'll switch over to the hard drive. Come on. Alright, restarting now. One thing you gotta remember is that this laptop was made in 2013, and it wasn't really a very high-spec computer. You know, like I said, it's just got a Celeron. But in my opinion, this is where the biggest difference is with the restarting. And there we are at the login screen. So let me log. No, I'm not going to log in. I'm just going to shut it down again, and we'll put the hard drive in it and see how that does. Here is a boot up with the mechanical hard drive put back in. Maybe a little bit slower. Okay, and we're logging in. Let's try and open Google Chrome right away, and you'll see that it will not open for quite some time. Yeah, it's already taken longer, you can tell. Programs open much faster on the, or at least, you know, a bit faster on the solid state drive. And we haven't actually loaded anything on Chrome yet. It's just a blank screen. Now there's Google. Let's close it and open File Explorer. Yeah, I think you can tell the difference. Now once this thing has finished loading all of its programs and it's, nice and stable, things open a lot faster. That's when the difference between the SSD and the hard drive kind of goes away a little bit. But overall, I guess, I think it's a worthwhile upgrade. Just, a little bit of future proofing, make things faster. And now I'm going to go ahead and do a system restart. And you'll see that this takes much longer with the hard drive. Come on. Alright, and we're restarting now. Yeah, it's taken, as you can see, it's taken a lot longer to shut off. There, it finally did. There you go. There's definitely a speed difference there, for sure. I'm going to go ahead and log in this time and all. Alright, and here we go, logging in. You can see things have not loaded completely yet. Nothing, there goes the taskbar right there. And again, let's try to do something like Chrome. I don't think I logged in when I restarted it with the solid state drive, but I have done that off camera. The programs open quite a bit faster. Because I can hear just constant hard drive activity right now. There goes that. Chrome finally opened. And then, I guess that's it. So, is it worth it? I'd say so. Just to speed it up a little bit. And you can get these for so cheap nowadays that it really isn't going to set you back all that much. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope the video wasn't too boring. And that's it.